Okay, video number 2 of diagnosing low oil pressure on the 6-liter 2004 Denali. The first video we checked the oil pressure for a mechanical gauge. It showed 5 or 10 psi at idle, and it only really went up to like 12 psi when you revved it up. So I knew there was something other than the sender, because they usually read 0 or 80. So anyways, second part is pulling the whole front of the motor apart and starting to inspect other potential issues. So obviously you got to take everything off the front of the motor, timing cover, got to pull the crank pulley off, you got to pull all the rocker arms and push rods out, etc. And the first thing I do is I check the oil pump. This one, they've obviously tried to replace the oil pump already to fix the problem, which it didn't. So I knew that would be okay, but if it wasn't replaced, I take the front cover off and I check to make sure that that little valve in here, the pressure relief valve, is not open, which this one is not. And then I also check the O-ring to make sure that the pickup tube is actually pushed up into the oil pump, because sometimes the bolts come loose and they come out a little bit. But usually failed O-rings don't drop all oil pressure. Usually just start getting low oil pressure, like 20-25 pounds at idle when it warms up. So the next thing you would do would be to pull the timing chain and timing gear off, and you put the dowels in here to hold up the lifters, and you start pulling the cam out, and then you inspect the cam bearings. Except I already know this one has a failed cam bearing out, because that's as far as the cam will come out, and I can hear the cam bearing rattling around on the cam. So this is 100% a cam bearing failure. So this motor is going to have to come out and either just replace the cam bearings or rebuild the entire motor. So there's not going to be a part 3 on this one, since I already found the problem. But normally, if you haven't found it by the time you get to cam bearings, it's usually main engine bearing failure and it needs to be rebuilt anyways. So this is only for the 99 to 06. The 07s can sometimes have problems with the DOD lifters and the displacement on demand system that's underneath here. Sometimes those will drop oil pressure too. So those will be part of the diagnosis on the 07 to 014 models. But anyways, that's all I got for this one.